What was God's hand in this? And that's one of the main things I'm looking for. I want to see what God is doing. I want to be a part of what God is doing. That was the original vision of Abraham. Why we honor him is he saw a city that God was building, and he wanted to be a part of that, and he was willing to leave everything he had known his whole life to be a part of what God is doing. I started, it was a couple of decades ago, really. I've studied history my whole life, but most of it world history, and I kind of got jerked back. I felt like by the hand of God, study your own history. And I did. And I went back looking for God's work, for God's hand in. Did you really establish this nation? Do we have any special purpose, special calling as a nation? I started to see it, and I started to see his hand. And that's what we're after, but also, what is your ultimate purpose? As I shared in the last program, when Winston Churchill was asked, how do you see the future so clearly? He prophesied and predicted so many things so accurately. And how do you do this? And he said 3 things: study history, study history, study history. The goal of this program is to see the future in order to be prepared for the future. So to understand the present, current events, but prophetically, to me, it doesn't mean just looking into the future. We want to see with God's eyes. We want to understand his work. As we see in Psalm 90, he said, let thy work appear to thy servants, and your majesty to their children. And then he connects it to the favor of God. As one friend said, one moment of the favor of God is worth a lifetime of effort. And then he says, let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and do confirm for us the work of our hands. Yes, confirm the work of our hands. So we start by seeing his work, his majesty in the work. That brings his favor, that we are connected to his work to carry it on.
For more on-demand content, visit MorningStarTV.com.